Hogan comes and he steps into the limo. So I didn't even know that he was even, going to be there. Well, me and him started talking a little bit then. Then the next thing, Vince got in, and so now we're headed to the TV hotel. These guys are talking. I don't even want to remember it. I don't, you know what I mean? Oh and I'm scared to death. You know what I'm saying?
Gerald, what was the importance of Hulk Hogan in professional wrestling?
Oh, wow. That's a big answer there. The importance of him is, I think he is the one that, we all have our errors, the Jim Laudes, the God's error, Jim Laudes and the Lou Thez and the Ric Flairs, yep, and the Dusty Rhodes and the Hulk Hogan one. But out of all those ones, and we discussed this today, Jimmy Hart, Brian Blair, and Jay Bill and myself on our podcast, what made Hogan so great and what really defined him. It was the crossover from the mainstream wrestling fans over to the mainstream sports fan that didn't give a crap about professional wrestling before Hogan come along. He just had that sense of superhero about him, yep, when he would walk into a room. Bill's been places where all of us on this podcast right here have been to places and walked into a room with Hogan. When he walks in, there's no doubt who this man is, and I think it was because of his upbringing that he always kept that level of humbleness too around that persona that I'm a superstar. Yeah. I just think a human being is what I remember.
What was your first experience with him, working with him?
I'm sorry?
What was your first experience working with Hulk Hogan?
Oh, my first experience with Hulk Hogan, working with him, I used to see him sitting in the armory about 10 rows back ringside every Tuesday night in the same exact spot. And then Teddy will tell you and Bill will tell you, those fans back in the old days, they sat in the same seats every week. So you got used to seeing these guys. You got used to seeing old Molly here, old Betty Joe over here, or Freddie over there, whoever it was. You got used. And then we'd walk in, and there's this guy, 6'8", 6'7", whatever it was. He was almost 300 pounds at that time. A full head of blonde hair, bleached blonde hair down to his shoulders there, and always tanned to the max. And after a while, we'd see him react and everything. He was a huge fan of Superstar, Billy Graham, and Dusty Rhodes, and the Brisco brothers, and so we got to kind of just looking, hey man, that guy, we ought to talk to him. He did, but being part owner of the territory, you're kind of looking for talent. You're looking for young talent, and being part owner, we're young too. We would like to talk to this guy. So we tracked him down to the place his band was playing. We asked him if he wanted to be a wrestler. He said, man, that's my goal. Well, you got it made here as a rock and roller. He said, yeah, I love this. This can be my hobby. He said, but I want to be a wrestler. So we set him up a deal. And of course, the legend has it, Matsuda broke his ankle. He didn't break his ankle. He just severely twisted his ankle where he couldn't walk for a few weeks. I'll be back was his words as he was hobbling out of the arena. So Jack and I and Eddie and he wrote, well, yeah, sure, you're a rocker. You won't be back. About 3 or 4 weeks later, he called me, I'm ready to come back. And at this time he come back, he was in better cardio shape. And that's the reason Hero got him before, because he kind of showed up. He'd played a rock and roll gig the night before, so he's out till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, probably drinking and partying with the fans and all that stuff. Come in, about half smelling of alcohol. So, that's the reason he got punished a little bit. Next time he come in, he was ready. He was cardio ready. And Hero worked out with him a little bit. And all right, kid, let's go to the next step. So it was that quick. And then we didn't keep him in training camp 5 years like these kids are doing nowadays. We had him out in about 3 or 4 weeks. We had him out in front of people.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, it was. Back in those days, if you had a little bit of talent, you didn't say no camp for a long time. You wanted to make some money, and you needed to make the money.
Bill, you were about to say something a minute
There's
ago.
one thing that, there's one thing that Hogan did, and McMahon was responsible for this. As they did this together. But the one thing most important was, the celebrity involvement, of course, but the marketing machine that Hogan personally went out to all these places. McMahon sent his teams out to open up and show people who this guy was and bring him out to the mainstream too. It was a whole marketing campaign that was so brilliant that it changed the business forever.
Teddy, let me ask you, what was your first experience working with Hulk Hogan?
Well, that's one thing I really regret. I never got a chance to have a segment with him. I never did nothing with him in the ring.
Yep.
Never had a chance to work with him through my whole entire career. But the thing that I had with him was kind of personal. Kevin Sullivan was God rest his soul, was the guy that introduced me to Hogan. Him and Hogan were real good friends. And way that I met Hogan, and I tell this story, and I ain't gonna carry it all the way around either, because one night we got ready to leave TV, and I was riding with somebody, and one of the writers came to me and told me, he said, "Hey, Vince wants you to go on his plane tonight." So then I had to regroup, change. Well, I had to get back in my suit. I didn't want to ride on Vince's plane, and just plain old clothes. So I had to get back in my suit and everything. But so then I got on the plane and we went to Love Field. That's where we landed at in Texas. Mm-hmm. And I got off the plane and Vince pointed and showed me where to go, where the limo was, so I could ride to the TV hotel. So as I was sitting in the limo right there, just waiting on Vince, maybe about 10 or 15 minutes, Hogan comes and he steps into the limo. So I didn't even know that he was even, gonna be there. Well, me and him started talking a little bit then. Then the next thing, Vince got in, and so now we're headed to the TV hotel. These guys are talking. I don't even want to remember it. I don't, you know what I mean? Oh my, and I'm scared to death. You know what I'm saying? But now I realize, for them to let me be in a position like that I was in, they were letting me know, just do your job and you'll be okay.
Gerald, what do you think was the highlight of Hogan's career? Was it slamming Andre the Giant, or was it maybe when he turned heel and joined the NWO?
Oh, that's a huge comparison, because both of them made it such a big impact. But it's got to be the first day that you mentioned, yes, because that set the scene for the change to Hollywood Hogan. Without him, WrestleMania 3 slamming Andre the Giant, we're talking today again, and that's the most consequential thing probably ever in professional wrestling and modern day professional wrestling. Was that because it went global and not just national; it went global.